to Auntie's Bloomers. Modest little place, this, but at least it's in the A band when it comes to paying council tax. Now, apart from a poor Sue Lawley imitation, what am I doing here? This pile of sand in the middle of nowhere is, in fact, the BBC's very own secret South Sea bloomer dump. It's the place where all those outtakes and bloomers are buried in sealed containers to prevent them from damaging the reputation of some of Britain's best-loved entertainers. Well, with the aid of a shovel and a stiff drink, I've managed to dig up some of those classic cock-ups, and with the kind permission of the poor unfortunates involved, I'm going to expose them to the world. As you can see, there's all kinds of old BBC junk here on this island. There's the remains of Doctor Who's TARDIS over there in the undergrowth. The world's first ever mobile phone. Look at this. Remember these two little fellas? Those of you too young to remember Bill and Ben, they were two characters made out of flower pots who wobbled up and down on strings outside a garden shed and said, flubble, lubble, 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 lubble. And then they talked to a weed who just said, weed. Well, look, well, the war had just ended and we were willing to laugh at anything. Anyway, if you're too young to remember, it's time you were in bed playing with Sonic the Hedgehog. OK, enough of this sepia-toned reminisce. Let's get down to the muck and bullets of TV's lowlights. And since we're here on what remains of the set of South Pacific, let's kick off the show with a song and a taste of what's to come.
Action! Take action! Negativity's only a fatal distraction. Inaction's out, it's interaction. We need to succeed in this transaction. Action! Take action!
Oh, really, Mr. Rumble, we had all that during the war, and 5 inches goes nowhere.
Well, speaking for myself, I would be... It just upsets me. I'm settling for 4, that's all.
Delia Wheelwright.
Who?
Delia Wheelwright. Oh!
That was tremendous. Go on, Kelly.
Come on, over.
Hello, Graham.
Stan Hastilo, you see, has got a perspex windscreen, and he's got a very crafty design of big holes drilled in the windscreen. There it is. And he has a theory, which seems to be justified, that it helps visibility. What am I saying? What am I saying?
The curse of the commentator. What terrifying power commentators have to cause chaos and destruction just by opening their mouths. They tell you the goalie's having a great game. You can guarantee that he put the ball in his own net. They tell you that Fowler's got the match in the bag just as he puts the ball in the bunker. They tell you Desert Orchid's going to walk it. It's exactly what he does. What is this mysterious gift that the men in the sheepskin coats have?
Doug Powell, number 31, is a man who could bring a little bit of a shock. He skied exceptionally well in practice, especially here early today. Oh, but he won't ski well today. Who'd be a prophet in this business?
John Spencer has a terrific cue power. See this cue ball come back. Oh. I wish I didn't say those things.
Now Greta Peszek of Austria reversed 2.5 somersaults with pike.
This is what counts. This is the master at work.
Yeah, great natural skier he is.
Pete Dam wins, looks through a completely clean windscreen, and that's the big advantage, of course, of being in front. That's the big disadvantage of getting your line wrong.
Oh, Murray Walker, an oasis of calm. In the BBC Sports Department, that kind of commentator's cock-up is actually known as doing a Murray. And over the years, Murray Walker has earned himself a unique place in the affections of millions of sports fans, while at the same time making himself the undisputed champion of the high-octane blowout. Now, for those of you who like to hear a master at work, here are some vintage howlers from the Walker archive. And if you're watching Murray, through these little peepholes in your windscreen, remember, everybody makes mistakes.
Now, for real spectacular driving, watch this. And
Bernie, it's some 17 years since you bought McLaren. You've had some good times and you've had some bad times. What do you remember best?
I don't remember buying McLaren.
I've done it again.
Has got the comforting knowledge of knowing exactly where Nigel Mansell is because he can see him in his earphones. See him in his mirrors.
They say clothes make the man. Well, the clothes are Niki Lauda's, but the contents are me, Murray Walker, here at Silverstone to achieve a life's ambition. Drive a Formula One Grand Prix car. Nigel, first of all, will you carefully and slowly take your hat off? You've got an enormous bump on your head. Can you let them see it?
I don't know whether... There you go.
Right up there. Oh, I'm sorry.
In all subsequent interviews with Murray, Nigel Mansell insisted on keeping his crash helmet on. I ask, is there anything funny about watching other people breaking their necks? Of course not. There's nothing remotely funny about watching actors and actresses suffering horribly. If that's the case, why do 6.5 million people watch El Dorado? Here on Auntie's Bloomers, we're only too aware it's all too easy to get a cheap chuckle at other people's misfortune. That's why we do it. To watch and wince, and above all, enjoy these examples of TV torture.
Where did you do? Can you come out?
Torture with.
Ah! Go on up! Go on up! Go on up! Come on! Go on up! You can do it all!
Moving up into 4th place, that was tremendous. Do you think you'd ever do that?
I never thought that, no. From 8th to 4th, it was brilliant. But he deserved it, the way he showed down. Yeah.
He was super, wasn't he?
Absolutely, I couldn't believe how...
Oes 'na rhyw ffordd nawr, o ti'n dweud amdanyn nhw yn sefyll yn y tylle dan ddeiar. Oes 'na rhyw ffordd I gael nhw allan? Oes. Ie?
I'll go and see, shall I?
All right, then. Okay. Robbie, you go with her. And if she's not there, you to come straight back.
Come on.
I think Zebedee enjoyed that. Now that we've found your level, coming up is another excruciating example from TV's School of Hard Knocks. It features a reporter who shall remain nameless. But you know who you are, Michael Colley. And I'm sure you'll remember a day not so many moons ago when you were sent out into the wilds of Scotland to hunt down the rare and elusive caper caillie bird. Armed with only a freshly waxed barber jacket, a pair of green wellies, and a dogged determination to get the job done, you took to the trail like a duck to driving. Just watch this display of man and Mother Nature in perfect harmony.
What we're actually waiting for is for the dogs to go on. I'll try that again. What we're actually waiting for is for the dogs to go on point. In other words, to stand and wait, and it's possible then that they've picked up a scent. Our job is then to catch them up and see what's in front of them. So, Owen. What we're actually waiting for is for the dogs to go on point. In other words, to stand still. Well, we've been out on this estate now for something like 4.5 hours. It's an estate where we hoped we'd see capercaillie. We've had flies round us, we've had rain, we've had scents picked up by dogs, but they've not been able to track down any capercaillie. We've not seen any capercaillie. We've been travelling around for the past few days around various parts of Scotland, and still we haven't seen a capercaillie. I think there's more chance of finding a haggis.
Now, of all hunters had that poise and strength, the capercaillies wouldn't be an endangered species in the first place. But sometimes, as you've just seen, things simply aren't destined to go your way. And when it's going to be one of those days, you know about it right from the off. You've started, but somehow you just know that you're not going to finish.
And our fourth contender, please. Your name, please?
Philip Warmby.
Occupation?
Oh, no.
Sorry about that. It's clerical officer.
Toshihiro Kaiwa of Japan. And thankfully we named it early.
Monsieur le joueur, attention.
Well, as that cyclist proved, there's no point asking for divine intervention when it's not your day. TV directors may be able to move mountains, divert rivers, even get Oliver Reed out of the studio bar, but there's nothing they can do when confronted with something as simple as an attack of the wind.
Have we got any cocktails?
Don't you like him at all? Not just a teeny bit. I have everything I need. Mr. Mullins? Or do you have a new one?
I really just came to say,
Goodbye.
And the apparatus has collapsed.
Good military shaver there, coming a cropper through no fault of her own. With a bit of foresight, of course, they could have had a couple of BBC technicians on hand. They're marvellous at propping up bars. Now, foresight has never been the BBC's strong suit. That's why they've set up a special department called Forward Planning. The head of Forward Planning was going to be here with us tonight, but due to unforeseen circumstances, he just couldn't make it. And he did predict that they wouldn't laugh at that. Anyway, we've put together a few clips that'll make his hair curl. Some choice examples of when just a little attention to detail would have made all the difference.
Different game now, Bill, isn't it? A leg spinner getting through.
With all those on the ground,
I thought we might be in trouble with the public address.
Please remember
To retain a little picture to show
It might seem like the ideal place to be. As much food as you can possibly... Oh,
Please phone 6800.
Please give the professor my best.
I'll make sure that he knows about it. And thanks so much, sir, for having us. We'll be right out. It's dinner time. Let's go.
How are things at the bank? Heard anything about your promotion?
Not yet. But I'm definitely on the shortlist. I've been invited to the company's...
How do you do that?
In the years that followed, many of those who worked on her conversion for war were to lose their jobs as the British ship industry hit troubled times. And when the nation next went... Do you want to give it a try?
Okay, which year was my single I Should Be So Lucky? #1 in Great Britain.
Okay, and if you answer that correctly, you will win a Kylie LP and a Kylie video. And the question is, in which year was I Should Be So Lucky a #1 hit single for Kylie in 1985?
You're beginning to realise there's something strange about the people who make television programmes. They can make the simplest of things look difficult. They're fine when they're recreating the Battle of Agincourt with 5,000 extras and a castle to demolish, but you give them something easy, like walking through a door, boy, can they make a crisis out of a drama. There's an old saying in show business, as one door opens, another one closes. Sometimes you're lucky if the damn things move at all.
The door. Who has locked the door?
He is, however, more intelligent than he seems, and he is, we mustn't forget, Her Majesty's Secretary of State for Foreign Affairs.
I don't want your car parked outside my house, Billy Boswell! You don't live here anymore!
Well, I'll tell you something for nothing, laddie. We won't roll over and play dead. Got it?
Our extensive investigations led us to this florist. Can the owner shed any light on the mystery?
And I suppose you'd like me to lay on cucumber sandwiches and all?
Oh, no. Cup of tea will do us fine. Just have to splash out and buy yourself something new, wouldn't you? Whee! Lovely. You get it, Trace.
Now you can see why there are no doors on Bloomer Island. And apart from the TARDIS, we don't allow telephones here either. You see, in the real world, a telephone's a pretty harmless sort of gadget, unless you happen to be a member of the royal family. But on the set of a television programme, a telephone is more dangerous than a ferret on Baywatch.
Where's this man Met's car? Ah, is this my sherry?
Oh, Osley.
That'll be for me.
Damn machine, it's poured boiling coffee all over my trousers.
Oh, dear, I'm so sorry. I'll call a first aid officer.
I do not need the first...
Hello?
Coca-Cola post. Hello? What?
I'm telling you, Joey, I knew she was here in the city the other day. Oh, there's somebody talking on the phone. I'm sorry.
It's me. Is teacher feeling strict today? I will be with you in a few minutes. I'm playing hooky. I've got the telephone number.
Now, if they can't cope with a door, and they can't cope with a telephone, how on earth do you think they'll manage with all these strange gadgets and devices at the cutting edge of modern technology? You're right. Very badly.
What you do is you replace the rear wheels of a conventional roller skate with that unit. There's an automatic clutch in there and a simple hand throttle. That's it to control the speed. Now, if I can get it going again, it's a bit temperamental. Wow! The Japanese...
This is the star of this year's motor show, the Batmobile. It's never been seen in public before, and can't see a bloody thing. Waiting for gravity to separate oil and water obviously isn't ideal. It'd be far more efficient if you could give gravity a helping hand. Waiting for gravity to separate oil and water obviously isn't ideal. It'd be far more efficient if it could give gravity a helping hand.
Well, the time now to meet the volunteers, so my mask has got to go back on. Not incidentally to protect me, this is to protect them. Oh, no, put it over my eyes.
Tantalising glimpse into the future. What have we got to look forward to? Two-stroke roller skates and a roundabout. But in the world of innovation and invention, you need eyes in the back of your head, because it's back there that it's all happening. And you know absolutely nothing about it until it's too late. In this season of pantomime, this is the part of the show where we should be shouting, "Behind you! Behind you!"
How confident are you that you're not going to get a sore back as a result of this demonstration?
Very confident. I have done this quite a few times, and it does stop.
With 32 tons of lorry encroaching on you.
Not worried in the slightest. No.
Not even looking. We shall see.
By being virtually a monopoly supplier, but almost everybody was affected by the...
You think that even if the local authority is given stronger powers, that the owners will still be at fault?
People arrested who are drug addicts. We've also had receivers or handlers of stolen property paying for the proceeds of burglary in drugs. So yes, there are indications that we knew that was going to happen.
And what about all that waiting at the start? Did you feel the tension then? I mean, it's all very well for these experienced people, but what about you?
No, as John said, it was intentional, and we meant to be.
No, I won't clear the balcony.
No, the back.
Ray,
if we can just interrupt a moment, obviously you're delighted.
Sorry, I didn't realise you were doing an interview.
Thanks, Peter.
Yeah, thanks.
The rain is pouring down. You must be delighted with that.
Yes, I think so. Obviously, if it keeps like this now, that's all very about.
There's a man enjoying looking at his own face, and I'm sure he's watching the golf, unless he's on another program, which would be a bit boring. There you are, that's you. Come on now, who's that idiot he's looking at? No, it's you, sir. Yes, it is you, yes. Give us a ring. Give us a ring. Put up your right hand, that's right. Good, now don't do anything else naughty.
Andy King, you get off the pitch. Congratulations, thank you.
Mr. Tebbett's article reflects the views of those Conservative MPs who are...
course, here on Bloomer Island, we don't just store the BBC's television's cock-ups. There's a huge, great lead-lined mine shaft filled with clangers from the world of wireless. Now, I can't play you most of them because, well, I don't want to get overexposed. But I did find one little gem in the Radio 3 Test Match Special Vault. Now, for those of you unacquainted with BBC Cricket's coverage on radio, it's half a dozen chaps of a certain age discussing cake and rain for 8 hours and occasionally mentioning the cricket. Here, the eloquent voice of cricket himself, Brian Johnson. Now, since this is the radio, feel free to put a paper bag over your head and just listen.
He tried to step over the stumps and just flicked a bail with his right
He more or
hand.
less tried to do the splits over it, and unfortunately the inner part of his thigh must have just removed the bail.
He just didn't quite get his leg over.
Anyhow, he did very well indeed, batting 131 minutes and hit 3 fours. Agus, do stop it. Lawrence, always entertaining, batting for 35. 35 minutes, hit a 4 over the wicketkeepers. Agus, for goodness sake, stop it.
Yes, Lawrence. Lawrence. Extremely well.
He hit a 4 over the wicketkeeper's head, and he was out for 9. It was half full game. Batting for 12 minutes. Then was caught by Haynes off Patson for 2, and there were 54 extras, and England were all out for 419. I've stopped laughing now.
John is upholding a fine tradition of professionalism at the BBC. What are they putting in those commentary box cakes? And what on earth are they putting in the BBC tea to make those otherwise responsible men and women behave in what is, frankly, such a totally unprofessional manner?
Come on, lady. Come on, lady. Come on. She's cramped on the
You know, I seem to recall something similar to this in Winnie the Pooh. He got stuck in Rabbit's hole.
Oh, no wonder they banned it from Bent Library.
Well, the nation's public libraries say they're neglected, underhanded... Oh.
Let's go back now to that Oxford-Watford game. Tony Gubber's got news of it.
Tony, you want on the phone?
Come on, Tony, just when we need you.
Hold on. A minute ago, you were saying you wished there were more like me. You shook my hand.
Yes, but at the time I didn't know you created a public distress.
A minute ago, you were saying you wished there were more like me. You shook my hand.
Yes, but at the time I didn't know you created a public disturbance with personal... Yes, but at the time I didn't know you created a public disperse...
Anything you say, my little estate-registered scrumptious. I want nothing to diminish your appreciation of this moment. In future, when you come home, you will receive the grocer's equivalent of the 21 Sun Galoo. I've said it.
Oh, my Darryl was a successful businessman. He had no need to turn to crime. He was voted Eastern Counties Conservatory Erection of the Year.
Beatrice, could we change the subject, please?
Ralph is highly thought of in financial circles.
I believe he's chasing a nicehood.
And what's...
Sorry.
Ooh-ar, ooh-ar. Come one, come all, each lass and her mate. Ooh-ar, ooh-ar. Come one, come all.
Keep position, we'll go. Take 4.
Ooh-ar, ooh-ar. Come one, come all, each lass and her mate.
Yeah, Chief Superintendent Clark. I've just been promoted.
So, although we commemorate the occasion each year, it doesn't seem as though we know an awful lot about why we do. Well, here's a potted history. The gunpowder plot was all about... What was it all about?
Oh, come on, shall we? Means well.
Means well? Oh, yeah. I'm sure every adoption agency in the country would jump at the chance of having us two as parents. Him doing an armed stretch for robbery.
Well, there we are. We've had 2 British wins, one for Ireland and now one for Germany. And Otto Shaver, the first time that you've jumped here.
Oh, sorry. My name is Stephen. Otto is the name of my horse.
Now, if you talk to any actor, they'll always say, after they've taken your order, that the most difficult thing about this acting game is remembering the names of the other characters. It's that awful, alas, poor whoever he was, I knew him well moment. And it's not just actors who suffer from it. Every time my agent sees me, she always says, oh, wait a minute, I know the face. And here are a few people who should know better, indulging in the noble art of name-dropping.
I am not really Otto Flick of the Gestapo. I am, in fact, a member of the British Intelligence Service. My real name is Basil... I've forgotten my real name.
I'm sorry, am I early? No, dear. I wanted you to come early, to arrive before Mrs. whatever her name is.
Sorry, love. Half-price OAP lunches are Monday and Friday. So what do we owe this pleasure?
Sharon's off out.
Oh, I'm Sharon.
You're Sharon, aren't you?
Yes.
Excuse me. Oops, there go my trousers.
You find me in the mortuary of Monsieur Alphonse, the undertaker, posing for a statue of me, the hero of the resistance. With any luck, it will not be long before the Germans are defeated. Michel of the resistance has... I am sorry, I am lost for words. You find me in the mortuary of Monsieur... No, you don't. No. Yes, you do, actually. Yes.
McEnroe, Connors leads 2-1.
Many, many countries wanted it, and therefore the best that Britain was ever going to be able to get was some form of opt-out. Now, what Mr. Major and Mr. in the Chancellor of the Exchequer, whose name seems temporarily to escape me in the freezing cold.
And now, after that galaxy of sports superstars, award-winning journalists, and much-loved thespians, here's a fella you've never seen before, and will almost certainly never see again. He's one of the great army of bit-part players and extras whose big chance for stardom comes perhaps only once in a lifetime. Cometh the hour, cometh the postman.
Action. Like the postman's attack. Action.
Sorry, I put the brakes on.
There's a lesson to be learned from our friend, Postman Pratt, and the lesson is never underestimate anyone's capacity for making a hash at things. You don't have to be a star to ruin the show. All you need to do is get yourself in front of the cameras and let nature take its course.
And there's Henry. That's the UCD mascot, and Shamrock Rovers bring their little mascot as well. Henry, incidentally, belongs to Jerry O'Dwyer. And letting Jerry down at the wrong moment, would you believe it?
Douglas Malfoy placing the laurel wreath around the horse's neck, and Barbara Apollo getting quite used to this. He's earned it as well.
Gillian, how traumatic was the whole event?
Very traumatic. It was the worst experience of my life. Come on, then, pack it in. Straight face, think of no presents. Because of so tightly wipe the smile off your face. Well, go on then, you go in there. Go on. You're gonna giggle. No, well, I'll tell you now. You giggle again, you're out. Okay.
Can you give us a formal introduction here?
Yes, this is Hayley.
Hayley, hello.
Hi.
Hi. She thinks it's an ice cream.
Despite its idyllic and somewhat isolated situation, the trout farm does suffer that scourge of urban...
And this is the beast that gives the spite...
I'd better put her in her basket.
I think you better put her on the pill, Mrs. Sloan.
You peed all down my trousers.
Congratulations. Well done to William and to you, Rusty. You were brilliant. When did he start to sort of ride your bike?
Well, I used to take him on the piggyback to the shops and stuff. And one day I put him on my back and his feet slid down to the back of the seat, you know. And the crossbar, I just put him there and he stayed there, really, you know, just simply stayed there.
It's great. He seems to enjoy it. I mean, does he enjoy it? Do you think?
Yeah, I spoke to the SPCA and he said if he didn't like it, he'd jump off.
Every dog has its day. Sometimes even the most shy and retiring of us get that urge to just once leap into the limelight. Remember those 4 heroic Olympians who brought back a 4x400 metres Olympic relay medal for Britain. Remember how they stirred the nation with their display of discipline, commitment, self-control. Here they are, having a crack at another world record. The world record for taking the longest time to answer a perfectly simple question.
You're all medalists and you're all record holders, but what's more important, the record or the medal?
I think medals are more important because medals can't be taken away from you. I'll get it.
Rog, you're all medalists and you're all record holders.
That
What's more important, Roger, medals or records?
Medals are more important because they can't be taken away from you. Records usually come with the medals.
It's there.
Records are important, but you can never count on breaking a record. We really strive to win the medals and hopefully get the records at the same time.
That's very good.
Yes!
They couldn't do it now. We're coming towards the end of this feast of failure. The tide's starting to turn. I wouldn't like to be stuck here all night with only Muff and the Mule for company. Before we leave you, though, I wouldn't like you to go away thinking that when things go horribly wrong, it's always the fault of the people in front of the camera. There are whole regiments of dedicated men and women who work away behind the scenes, often knocking them over, in fact. And they're just as capable of making a hash of things. They're the lighting people, cameramen, chippies, props, dressers, all the rest of the motley crew. If you've ever seen a TV unit at work and asked yourself,
what do all those people just standing around actually do? Well, this is what they actually do.
Cheers, Jerry.
Goodbye. Thank you once again. Bye, Jerry.
Goodbye.
I like to see us play purposeful, bright football. Lots of goals.
We've already had record crowds in this year's Premiership playoffs, and this delicately balanced semi-final has attracted another large attendance from the Craven fans.
Nothing. Oh, except my sausage dog. It's a little lucky silver sausage dog called Herman, and he bounces up and down on an elastic band. Sometimes.
What's burning? Oh, it's my breakfast! Ow! Ow!
I'm trying to burn the house down that way.
Oh, it's quite all right, Miss B. I can manage it very well on my own, thank you.
Look, Dor, there ain't any more room.
I've got to find space for this one. It's a cheese and bacon flan.
Oh, sorry, it's not. It's grilled steaks.
Kindly avert your eyes.
What's the matter with you, Liz? You're a bundle of nerves.
Well, I thought it was Hyacinth.
And now, the Great Conquer Challenge. Great fanfare, guys. Thanks for that.
Now, we just had a call from the Director General while that last clip was on. It came through on the TARDIS. He was calling from his country residence somewhere in 1956, where everything's black and white. And he'd like me to point out that, of course, although the BBC do occasionally get things wrong, we do always pull together to get it right in the end. So I'll say good night. Leave you with the comforting thought that the BBC is in good health and structurally sound. Got a film, do anything.
Marion, quick. Big problem, look.
To get speed up, you paddle. Like that. And as you're paddling, the wave comes up, you hit the top of the wave, and then you go, whoa!
She's gone right the way through. Goodness me.
And England supporters at the ground were hoping that collapse was not going to come.
These mountains are obviously contemptuous of anything prosaic in life. Therefore, people reach out to extremes. And where a simple au revoir can be translated into very dramatic action.
did you find it easy to strike up a relationship on the pitch together?
Well, I mean, Corky's the easy sort of...
You take this trunk to the bank, and I'll find some little old lady to sew this up for me. I'll see you back at the castle in half an hour, OK? Right.
All right, sir.
I don't know why it's so difficult. I've got 3, you've only got 1.
I know, but I've got the strongest.
Mrs. Lux, actually, as you can see, has lots of St. Bernard.
Oi! She has... Stop that. Come away. Give over. Ouch!
Mrs. Lux has lots of St. Bernards at her house, and she's brought... Sarah and Peter brought 4 of them in.
We've got Emma here, the bitch, and she's 2 years old.
Come on.
I say, she's 2 years and 4 months old, and then she's got 3 puppies, because these are puppies, believe it or not. How old are these, Pete?
Now,
the puppies.
I'm not sure, but it's time to go, folks. We'll let you know when to go.
Oh, dear. There you are. I've saved you from the certain damn Jagai Shapur. There you are. I've saved you.
Was it an accident, or is it a case of murder for Miss Marple? Next on BBC One.